I ain't late, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing's happening yet. 3 p.m. UK time, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard, we have the good old Jerome Powell talking today. So what can we expect? Well, word on the street says that there's somewhat a little bit of a hawkish tone, and that the idea of cutting the interest rates might be short-lived. But we want that to happen. We want the idea of people losing faith in the fiat system. Well, I'm not being funny, but that is just completely gone to the bin anyways. This explains why gold and Bitcoin is moving up. People are sort of losing hope. So they think, hey, might as well hedge myself and get into Bitcoin or gold. Now, gold is doing a lovely little number to the upside, itching towards those all-time highs for gold. That tells you retail's thinking, you know what, I'm done with this fiat game. I need to go over to gold to hedge myself and protect myself or my investments. Powell will reveal how likely the Fed will cut the interest rates. But the tone looks like it might not be happening. And what do we blame for that? Meme coins. The idea of speculation is strife. Everyone is just plowing money into the market. We're at a state of FOMO. Bitcoin at this very bizarre all-time high that it just likes to tap. One of those little taps on the shoulder like, hey. And you look around and you're like, oh, where did that guy go? You know? Always when you get tapped on the shoulder, you're looking left and right. Who was it? You don't see anyone. That's Bitcoin's all-time high. Today we'll verify if the all-time high will break and potentially hold. Powell is the only reason for that. On top of that, we got the JOLTS job openings report coming out. We've already had a bit of a reading on the ADP employment change suggesting a lower reading, but they projected 149, but it came in at 140,000, which is somewhat close to what they originally projected, which means that there was more, but it came in lower. So again, there's always going to be an humming and ahhing with regards to the jobs data. The JOLTS will effectively tell us exactly where we are. But the more important data is on Friday, non-farm payrolls. That just settles it for us. So what we're going to do in today's live stream, we're going to be begging Bitcoin to try and make its way, excuse me, to the all-time high. If Bitcoin cannot break this all-time high, then it will be another opportunity to load up for all the DCA guys, okay? And I'm going to be marking off key levels in Bitcoin's daily time frame just so you guys can have a look at and understand how good of a position you could take if Bitcoin were to reject the all-time highs again. Powell will effectively lead Bitcoin to do one of two things, okay? If Bitcoin doesn't break on the idea of a hawkish stance, then that means that the guys that have been going into crypto and into gold have maybe hedged themselves, so they've made their money kind of thing, and they've covered themselves, all right? If Bitcoin does break the all-time high, 70K needs to be the last point of support. It has to break it. Otherwise, we're just going to tap 69, 69.8, and come back down again. But it seems that this area here is testing the idea of investors. They're not selling the Bitcoin. That's the problem we've got. They're not offloading it. And if they're not offloading it, Bitcoin is more than likely going to start pulling back again to get the bids to go where they can actually buy it again and force people to sell it. Let's get with the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Enough of this chat. My name is Tino. Welcome to Traders Reality. And Sam hasn't cleaned my glasses. Sam! Sam's my brother-in-law. I love him to bits. Anyways, let's get with the program, ladies and gentlemen. It's all right. You didn't clean the glasses today, bro. What do you mean, oh? Never mind. I still can't see. Anyways, Bitcoin. Nice little V-shaped structure right there. And again, listen, when it comes to holders and traders, right? A holder's going to be like, oh, this could be an opportunity to DCA. He'll load up Bitcoin and then just go to bed. A trader will be like, okay, V-shaped strategy. He'll then be looking to exploit these little movements lower to try and take advantage of leverage and then mark price back up again, okay? Now, a beautiful V-shaped plate, which is why I will always say Ethereum is so much more of a superior asset to trade rather than Bitcoin. That's my truth. Look at that. Beautiful structures right there on Ethereum. Straight V-shaped play and cleared the range. All right? Bitcoin, on the other hand, can't even clear its all-time high. Now, Ethereum hasn't taken its all-time high. We get that. But why Ethereum out of Bitcoin and Ethereum? I'm always choosing Ethereum. That's why I will trade Ethereum. It just moves more aggressively than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a stable coin at best of times. Not to mention, has this even moved? Does it even do anything? I hold XRP. And every day it's just 60 cents or 56, 60 cents, 56. It's pure stable coin behavior. You know? What did I mean earlier on about these meme coins? Look at this. The meme coin resurgence is bad news for investors banking on rate cuts. So it says tokens like Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and Dogwifft Hat. How on earth has that managed to creep up out of nowhere? I mean, I get Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, but this one, it surged alongside Bitcoin, which has gained a boost from the ETF approvals. Now, we know that the ETFs have picked up a little bit of volume. We had the last, believe it's around $250 million worth of purchases have come into play. So they're picking up Bitcoin. Okay, cool. So dovish, or dovish, all right? We want the Fed to be somewhat dovish. We want them to be a little bit more relaxed. We don't want them to be aggressive. That's what hawkish means. And aggressive means we are bound to keep the interest rates higher with the potential of increasing them. If people are speculating and investing, the Fed's like, hold on a second, you're only going to encourage the idea of inflation going up and up and up if you guys keep spending money. Now, if we go on Friday and we see that the average hourly earnings coming higher, that's just a pain in the back. Why? Because it means that there are elements to the way inflation can increase again. You're earning more money, then you're more prone to spend it, even though oil has been relatively cheap, just below the 79 region, $80 mark. So we're not really concerned too much about oil. But look, 140K on the employment. More than what it was previously. So this is how you got to look at it. Even though they projected 149,000, it came in at 140. It's more than what it was, less than what they projected, but it's still higher than what it was. Okay? What they project is a different story. I don't care what the analysts say. All right? Expectations, or analyst expectations, in my opinion, are only really good for stocks. Okay? Because you do get a lot more data about the actual company. But when you're looking at this non-farm employment change, look at the scope, okay? It analyzes more than, it says ADP is an early look at employment growth. And it says here, ADP analyzes payroll data from more than 25 million workers to derive employment growth estimations. Okay then, so 25 million people. That's what that says, all right? It's a fixed sum. Is that enough? I don't know. I don't think that's enough. 25 million? You then go into the unemployment claims itself. Where is it? The average, no, let's just go over to the ISM, all right? 300 purchasing managers. Is that really enough purchasing managers to grant if the manufacturing sector is doing good? It's not, I just can't rely on it, okay? What I'm trying to say to you all is this. How can Powell's meeting, how is it going to impact everything? Well, the first thing that we need to consider, if Bitcoin's even going to go to the upside or not, is we need to go over to the bonds to understand where that is. Right now, the 2-year yield is pulling back to 4.5%, still high. 10-year is pulling down to 4.12%, relatively high, still got a yield inversion, all right? Now, if Powell doesn't say something, well, says something that we don't like, then there's a good chance that the bonds are going to start climbing up. Now, listen. The reason why you haven't seen the bonds really aggressively moving up is because they are effectively projecting that the Fed might actually keep the interest rates high, okay? Or maybe not cut. That means, as an investor, with $1 million to give to the government, I know I can lock in a good yield of 4.5% or inside of that range. That's why we're seeing it trading sideways. When this goes up, stock market goes down, okay? Because tech stocks are going to suffer from higher interest rates. Why? Because of working capital. They're borrowing money. And not to mention that we're going into the next restructuring of debt, or should I say corporate finance refinancing. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I just received a phone call. No, We can't be doing that. We're not allowed to speak to Steve today. No speaking to Steve. So that's where I'm going with all of this, okay? So if Powell does say something interesting, I would suggest that you keep an eye out on the yields, because if the yields go up, stocks go down. That means they're not looking for risk anymore. They're looking for a little bit of a safer environment. However, if stocks go down, yields go up, bonds don't go nowhere, then that means, ladies and gentlemen, that investors are seeking cash. So they're looking for just cash positions. But we have the alternative of Bitcoin. We have the alternative of gold. Okay? Near its all-time high, man. Now, gold has been doing great. Bitcoin has been okay. But now what we need to try and establish is how likely is Bitcoin going to sweep the upper range? Well, let's just go and have a look at where the orders are. Now, yesterday, we collected $34 million worth of longs at the 63,100. We collected, well, we nearly collected, there we go, $10 million worth of longs at 61,500, okay? Going on from that, we saw $52 million worth of longs opened at the 60K mark. It was originally $7 million for the order, but it encouraged investors. What does that tell you? It tells you, regardless of whether Bitcoin can take the all-time high or not, this area right here is a great area for accumulation. So for all my holders, I would suggest you keep an eye out on this red vector candle range. Price point of 61,380 and 65,559. I'm not too fussed about the exact price points, but what I'm trying to say is this is, or what appears to be, a good area of support. Why? Because the bids are coming in aggressively. So even if Bitcoin was to drop, if they do surpass this area here of, let's say they break down beyond, because the last biggest order was at 60K. If they do break beyond 60,000, right? Watch this. If they sweep 60K, we've got at least the idea of the 200 EMA to act as support. Quite frankly, the 200 EMA will be irrelevant. It's a lagging indicator, but it tells us where we are with momentum. And when price goes and sweeps towards these zones, it's consistent with where traders may place their stops, okay? Or where they can grab the interest from the bidders and the offers, okay? We know full well that this area is a big area for Bitcoin. The last time this happened, I've been marking this for quite some time, was here. This was the area. Right there. Look what happened here. $29 million worth of longs at 38,800. Go up a little bit more. You got another $21 million worth of longs at 39,100. Okay? And then we've got this area here. $23 million worth of longs at the 40,300 zone. So when we start to see big boys loading up Bitcoin in this range, especially after a very significant drop to the downside like you've seen here, we can only assume that this next range right here in Bitcoin is a valid area of support. So even if Bitcoin were to come back down again, because all the short sellers are like, yeah, it's going to the pan, it's going to drop, it's going to collapse, this area is, for the holders, a very important zone for accumulation, okay? Now, even if Bitcoin were to collapse, what you really want to see Bitcoin doing is you want to see Bitcoin completely sweep the highs. You want to see it go higher. Why? Because it would be on the premise that these guys who've been buying the amounts of Bitcoin in this area here, logic would suggest that they'd be looking to offset that order. And they want to sell it higher. Like I said to you before, the difference between buying a Bitcoin or buying the ETF, okay? If you're buying here we go. If you got 618 Bitcoin, okay, at 61,500 for 38 million, and it shoots all the way up to 72,000, all right? And then you've got here 27 million, all right, as an order that's waiting to be sold. Now, we can't marry up the idea that those are the same people, but $38 million worth of a position in spot, for example, and it shoots up towards 72,584, you've netted yourself a nice little return there. You can't complain about that. And that's what goes on. So what we want to be seeing is we want to see Bitcoin completely rip this range. Why? So that we can then assume the same behavior here is going to happen higher. That's what we're looking for. Oh, my days. S&P, you beautiful, absolute mad thing. Ugh. But this is all anticipation of Powell. Are we all on the same page, guys? Are we good? How is everyone today? Is everyone all right? Cool. Tino bookmap. Yes, I shall be looking at the bookmap. Here we go. All right, then. What have we got going off here? Oh, what's going on here? Here we go. All right, then. So we're now going to look into the orders of Bitcoin on the bookmap. We're also going to have a look at orders of Bitcoin on Exo charts. We're going to have a look at Bitcoin's profile for the day, where we are. Okay, so look at where we are. We are currently on the 5-day profile for Bitcoin. All right, so just look at this. You can see that they're gunning for the offers. So it seems like you can see up there, right there, it's effectively the imbalance of the order book, which tells me if it turns green, it means that limit buys are coming into play. And if it goes red, it tells me that offers or sellers are coming into play. Okay? Bitcoin is in the value area high on the volume profile. The issue that we've got is it's consistent with reversal points. Because right now they're seeking value, as you can see. This is all of value. This is where people are buying. And you can see, look, 3.8, 2.9. And the top side of the last 5 days is the 5-day profile. The top side of the range, let me just mark it all the way to the top. Here we go. So 69,347 is the top of the profile, all right? We go all the way down. This is all value that you're seeing here, okay? Now, we've just moved away from the value, okay? This is value area high, the gray area. This is where value sits. This is where Bitcoin's point of control is on the 5-day profile, which is all the way down here at 63. Where is it? Let's just go into it. Keep on going. Look, there you go. 6.1K is the point of control of Bitcoin. Now, relative to Bitcoin's price action, that is really, in my opinion, a poor area, or should I say a poor point of control. Why? Because if we, oops, wow, what have I just done there? Oh my God. What have you just done there? Okay. Because what I'm trying to convey here is this. At any point, Bitcoin's point of control can change. How can we establish that? Well, look, you've got 4K up here at 63,597. Let's just go to where the price point is right now for Bitcoin. Here we go. Come on. There we are. So, 5.5K at 66,997. The point of control for the last 5 days is at 6,000.6.1K. That's all the way down. That means if investors are really down with the flavor to mark Bitcoin higher, they will transact at the 66,997. They'll start transacting orders in that area and effectively change the point of control, which would suggest that value's moving up. Now, what we're waiting to see is if the value of it moving higher and the point of control changes, is it because there are more offers there or more buyers? Okay? The only way we can establish that is if price does go into that point up here at 66,997, just before 67, and hold. But unless they go up to that point, they're going to keep on bouncing up and down in this range. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see Bitcoin go down to test that point of control. That'll be horrible. But it can happen. But the only nearest areas where they can get close to changing the point of control, which is a perceived idea of value changing, would be 66,000 or 67,000 up there. So we want to pay attention to that point. Mark that off on your charts, ladies and gentlemen. 67,000 will be, if it goes above that and breaks it on a green vector, we're going to assume that the point of control has changed. So value has changed to favor higher prices. We then need to wait and see if Bitcoin can sustain that point. Okay? Now you can see nothing's happening and nothing will happen for another half an hour because Powell is speaking. Now S&P and NASDAQ, they seem to just be stalling right now, the top side of their ranges. So I'm not too concerned about that. Okay? But we're going to refer back to that. Going into the smaller time frames. You can see nothing is happening. The only things that are moving right now, Ethereum, she's not really doing too much. She swept the highs today. That's fine. Let's just go into Bitcoin dominance for a second. So that is slowly but surely climbing up. USDT, It's trading at the 4% region, which is consistent where they will like to try and offload their crypto and go back into USDT. It could actually happen if that's the case. Going into Matic, you can see it's a nice, that's what I mean, man. Matic is perfect to trade, guys. All right, alongside Ethereum, Matic works great. Just look how smooth it moves, man. It is a nice asset to trade. Okay, so just keep an eye out on that. BNB is doing great with nice flavor to the upside. They hit that nice 378 and they tested that 380 mark. Happy days. And then now they've reversed away from that point. Let's just quickly go and have a look at where we are in terms of the Bitcoin ETF. Where are we? We do have a gap up in the ETF, ladies and gentlemen. So opening price could be at $38.21. They filled one gap. They filled two gaps. They filled nearly three. Okay, so that's going to be very interesting for us. Oil is going up, and I'm not too keen on oil going up. That's not good, because if oil's going up and the stock market's going up, that tells me that the stock market is topping out, which means that investors could be going to commodities during times of uncertainty in the economy. That's what Powell usually leads up to or gives the impression of, okay? Going into Euro, we can see Euro doing its business. So Platinum members, you should be good with that. It was a slight retrace, but you should be good with that move to the upside, okay? Again, remember, there's 20% off the Platinum membership on the Traders Reality website. It's 20% off your first month, and you use the code BULLRUN at the checkout. And that's in the description of the video and, of course, pinned to the top of the chat. So go check out tradersreality.com. Okay, cool. What we got here? Tino, can you check Devi? Devi? Who's Devi? Okay. Wow. All right, then. Okay, recently listed, not so long ago, all right, on Mexi. There's a lot of coins being listed on Mexi as well. Okay. Not really doing much, and it's quite a choppy asset, given that it is $1.50 nearly. But I think we've still got more room for it to go lower, because it's trending lower, and it's consistent with accumulation. So maybe one last bout of commitment down here to really test that 122 range, in my opinion. Okay. Okay. Milad, you don't have to, man, but thank you very much. Okay, questions. Tino, is it possible we could retest the daily open on Bitcoin? Most definitely. It is very possible. Okay? Remember, wow, S&P. Like I said, right? Bitcoin is... We've already tried to gun for the daily open with this red vector candle right here. When Bitcoin is close to its daily range and it's been trading very tight, all of the ranges are possible, okay? What you've got to look at is say to yourself, right, I'm either going to trade this volatility, and I strongly recommend you don't. Please don't. Word on it. Look. Here we go. It's... Yeah. Latest remarks from the head of the US Central Bank. Hold on a second. 54 minutes ago. Yeah, there's not going to be any surprises, apparently. Okay. It says here, Powell noted that the inflation situation. Hold on, when was this? Updated last March. Okay, so this is an old one. Forgive me. Forgive me for that. Here we go. Fed Powell heads to Capitol Hill. He won't rush rate cuts. Okay. Now, like I said before, if he's not rushing to cut the rates, that means it's going to be costing more money in the future for businesses to conduct themselves, okay? And all what you're seeing right now in the S&P and the NASDAQ, okay, as you can see, it is just climbing up. What a sad story. It's just marking up vector candle recovery, all right, for when Powell speaks. We are heading towards all-time highs. We do have this red vector candle region all the way up here that we want to pay close attention to, but we've also got these imbalances right here. These are imbalances. This could be a short squeeze. It's squeezing participants back into VWAPs. Market's just opened. I would be very careful. If Powell did say no to interest rate cuts, Bitcoin in principle should be going up. It should be marking higher. Even though we're looking for Bitcoin and the stock market to behave in sync, that would be the true test of Bitcoin's ability to be the hedge against inflation. That's what I believe. That would explain why gold's going up. That would explain why Bitcoin's going up. Quickly, just go over to the ETF because I was talking about that a split second ago. Where we at? There we go. Loading up. $11 billion, ladies and gentlemen. That is nothing to get shy about. But you've also got to remember this, guys. If you're buying $11 billion worth of of this Bitcoin ETF, okay, and you're asset manager of nearly $9 trillion, just because that's $11 billion, we don't know what their end goal is. These guys could be committing $150 billion. We do not know. Not even 10% of it. So it doesn't matter if Bitcoin goes up or down. They know that with the Bitcoin ETF, if they're just stacking the Bitcoin and continuously buying it, I mean, it's naturally going to keep on moving higher. But we don't know what their end goal is. We just don't. And that's the crazy thing about this ETF. When we start seeing the transactions, that's when it starts to become a game changer. Here we go. What we got? So Grayscale's been selling a little bit of Bitcoin, 53, 81, 53 million. Okay. Bitwise has come into play. Grayscale's been doing a lot of selling. Prime, got Coinbase has come into play as well. And FalconX has been doing some offloading. They've been offloading quite a bit. Okay, so that's pretty interesting for us. Here we go. We got some flavor in the charts, ladies and gentlemen. Markets are now open. So let's just now have a look at the book map, understand where we are over here. Okay, so offers that are coming in at the top side. I'm not really seeing the offers just yet. It's probably going to be a little bit quiet, guys. I'll be straight with you, okay? No rate cuts means Bitcoin should go up. How so? Because people are going on the idea that the monetary system is it's flawed, okay? Fiat is terrible, okay? So people are losing faith in fiat, so they're going to be going to alternative investments such as gold and Bitcoin. If the Fed does not cut the interest rates, that means, given that the debt for the US is going up by $1 trillion every 100 days, that's just a time bomb waiting to explode. But they'll just end up printing, and that's just going to devalue the dollar's purchasing power. But you don't devalue Bitcoin. There is a supply, and you just need more people to turn to commodities. That's what Bitcoin is. And anyone that says to me that it isn't, you're just not understanding the idea of Bitcoin. It is a commodity. There is effectively a known supply. 21 million coins. Chow, chow. Done. Gold. There's not so much a known supply unless they find a mine and they extract the gold. Oil, commodity. Not so much known as a known supply, but they find oil, they drill it, explore it, refine it, sell it. Okay? Different way around. All right? But Bitcoin has a supply. And all it takes is someone to say, you know what, man? This fiat game's terrible. I'm going to start looking into cryptocurrency. The first thing they're going to get involved in is Bitcoin. Now, imagine you've got people that have got a lot of cash sitting doing nothing. Well, they're hearing the hype about Bitcoin. They're naturally going to just convert it as a store of value. It goes up and down, but it fundamentally behaves as a store of value, okay? So that's why if they don't cut the interest rates, then people are going to be like, look what's going on in the fiat system, man. This is terrible, bro. All they're doing is it's just devaluing my dollar. My dollars are doing nothing in the bank, but the Bitcoin's doing the flavor, okay? Tino, I got a question. What is the best time to trade? Do you have specific time like New York, London, or do you trade whenever you want but avoid the weekend, or trade when the opportunity emerges? I will take trades on Ethereum at the weekend, but they will be swing trades, okay? Because then I can get an idea of how they're containing price, sideways price action, and pay attention to the psychological ranges, okay? And then going into the start of the week, if I see the first move away from the psychological range and it's in my favor, happy days. Okay, so that's exactly what I did with my last swing trade with Ethereum. But when it comes to normally day trading, I'm going to be trading, I trade the S&P, and I'm probably going to be trading it today. Well, actually, no, I'm not going to be trading it today. Well, maybe around 6:30. 8:30 UK time, maybe, because I have some commitments to tend to. 6:30, 8:30. That will be a window for me. Can happen before 5:30, 4:30 UK time, but it's always going to be around the London close because then that's when the US is going to initiate the reversal, whatever they're doing. So if the S&P right now is continuously marking up to the upside, okay, so let's just have a look right now. Here we go. Here's a hypothetical example, all right? The S&P right now is marking up, but Powell is going to be speaking very shortly. They've been marking price to the upside, okay? I'm going to be paying attention to where VWAPs are, okay, and looking at where the volume-weighted average price is. Because remember, institutional investors, they do use the volume-weighted average price, but you've got to dive into it a little bit more. If they have what they call orders, okay, that they need to offload, they can't just smack them straight away into the market. It would disrupt the marketplace. That's why you see price going back and forth from the VWAP, because what they're doing is they're actively buying or they're actively selling at the VWAP, because it's the volume-weighted average price. That means if they're selling for their investors, they're going to want to get a good average price of a sale, okay? And that's what I trade. I trade the reversions back into the VWAP or away from the VWAP, because I'm triggering the idea that investors or institutional investors are trying to offload certain amount of contracts in the S&P. So right now you can see this is a short squeeze. Cool. That could also mean that they've been bidding the S&P yesterday, and now they're offsetting that, okay? And they're averaging, closing off as it's going to one VWAP to the next, okay? So the sessions VWAP could be where they've averaged and closed a bulk of the positions. The next logical thing is that it comes down, which then gives them another opportunity to either load up on the positions or offset other positions. It all depends on the average, okay? Here we go, pulling back. So this is getting very interesting right now. But that's what I do. I trade that time and I trade that logic. Here we go. Let's go back into Bitcoin. Come on, what are you doing? All right, still stalling. What we got? Any orders coming into play? Let's just have a quick look over here on the offers. What's going on? S&P is doing some wild things, man. Absolutely wild. 627K. Who are you? I'm not interested in you. Here we are, 10 million at 68,494. We've got some bids, 11 million there. Got a last bid order here of 5 million that came in 47 minutes ago. The bids seem to be relatively not so aggressive, but I'm starting to see the offers coming in. So we're going to really want to see offers coming into play with Bitcoin. Okay, so still holding out. Ethereum is still up 8%. Okay, that's fine. Let's go to Bitcoin again. Let's see if we're going to see the offers on here. Let's just pull this up. Where are we? Okay, where's that 67? Okay, it's just cleared it. Where is it? They didn't transact on it. 5.5. Look, they cleared that zone. Okay, cool. That's good news for us. Next zone, where the point of control could change. Could effectively change at 4K up here with 67,397. I'm just trying to mark off the biggest points in the chart in terms of the volume profile. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Okay, then. So, point of control might remain in Bitcoin. Might remain down there. I want to see it increase. Someone needs to come in and just throw like 600-700 Bitcoin orders. All right, just to say, okay, maybe it could actually happen. This is on a tick chart of 50, so it's very, very fast. And you can see the chart ain't even doing anything. S&P is trying to establish the opening range, so that's good news for us. Go back into the book map. Here we go. So bids are coming in, 25% positive side, which means that bidders are coming in, buying up Bitcoin. It's marking lower. This is Bitcoin price for anybody that is new, passing through to the live stream. 2,265 of you amazing people. Only 500 of you like the live. Please do like the live. It does help with the algorithm where we get to share the kind of madness that unfolds with this all-time high shenanigans. And of course, if you do like today's flavor, make sure you subscribe on the way out and hit the ding-a-ling, because we go twice a day we go live, ladies and gentlemen. 9 a.m. Eastern Standard, 2 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. Listen, man, just get the notification bell on, all right? When it goes, I'm live. Pissing about, talking about time frames and what have you. Anyways, okay, so look, you see that there? I don't know if you saw that for a second. You see that bid? Look at that. That bid at 535's come in. Someone's there wants to get filled. We're going to want to see them get filled right now, because it could be a little bit of a spoof order, but price is really, really close to it. Going to see it? Here we go. Is it going to get hit? Come on, hit it. Yep, it's absorbing it. It's taking it. Ah, they've loaded up again. It's moving away. So that's clearing, that's saying to me that this area could be a point of support. Now, when you use this, okay, look at that, it just keeps moving. When you see these sort of orders coming into the chart, you then can say to yourself, okay, I could have taken a trade on that principle, hypothetically. This is depth of market stuff, right? because that order was transacted on and it's a big bid, all right? So the sellers are like, oh, God, what's going on? There's that big dude down there and he's staying down there. And look at the result of it. It's now moved away from it because the offers have come into play and they're like, okay, look, there's some guy down there that's prepared to buy. But then you've got guys that are thinking, all right, I'm not going to sell just yet because that guy right there could tell me that he might be wanting to load up Bitcoin cheaper to sell it even higher. You know what? I'm going to move my offer, keep it higher, try and offer out even higher, okay? So I'm getting more value. I'm getting a better return. That's why usually you'll end up seeing this. Look at this. This is the depth of market, okay? And you can see now that we are currently in the opening range for the S&P right now, okay? And you can see we've got 900 and we've got just shy of about 1,000 orders on the ask, and we've got just shy of 1,000 orders on the bid. It's moving very, very fast right now, okay? And you can see 400, 300, 400, all right? And that's a big player coming into play on the S&P right now, but news is coming out, all right? So we've got to be very careful. What I like to see is, you see that 400, don't even know if you saw it yet. But what I like to see is I like to wait for this opening range to be established. All right. That's why I will trade at the end of the London open, at the end of the London close, because then that gives me the idea of where the opening range is, where's the highest profile, where's the lowest profile, find out the VWAPs, look at the vectors and trade towards those zones. Okay. You see that? You see those negative readings there? You see that negative figure that came in just there? Look, right now they're loading up on the ask because it seems to be that there's some value coming into play right now in the S&P. All right. You see 350 right there? So someone's just taken and purchased that, all right? They sold into the bids. Bids are now pulling back down. Who would this be? Pete, you know what? People seem to be calling me too much today. I'm not happy about that. I don't know if you saw those negative readings. You see that? That means someone's taking money off the orders. They're taking money off the asks. Why? Because of someone like this, okay? And that's why it's led price to mark up. Look, it's 700. That tells you that it can go back to that point, because that transacted and then it moved into it, took a couple of, about 50, 60 orders and then reversed away from it. So we know that this area here is a big area, all right? And that would be 66,897, just below the whole and half number. So the more we see them come back into this point and move away from it, we can then assume, okay, that could be a good little area of support. They're holding it. They want to keep that 710. They want to keep it. Anywhere else on the profile? No. Is there anything above here? No. There's a big player there. We're going to know the proof of this player if it's just a big position that just needs to be offloaded. We're going to want to see another position like that come in. Look, they've come into it again. Seems like it's acting as a bit of a support now. Here we go. Just watch this area. And you're going to see this as well when you're trading. You're going to be understanding, okay, is that an area? Here we go. It's eating it. 652, 647, 500, 400. Look at the book. It's holding. Someone is buying at that point, holding. Look at that. They're stalling. 700 just swept it lower. Okay, then. So now the profile has gone back to normal. Now, you see, we've got an even distribution. So that big player is no longer present in the chart. He's just bought his Bitcoin. All right. Now we're going to wait and see if that big player is going to come back in again, because then we'll see, look at this profile. These are the bids. Then we'll see his order come in again. And then that will dwarf all the other orders that you can see on here. Okay, here we go. Now it's going down. It's pulling back down. So they've just picked up that 700. That means, okay, there could be more people like that for me to move into. All right. So this is how you're establishing support and resistance within a candlestick, hypothetically. Okay. So here we go. It's going down. Well, it's moving really fast. Here we go. It's not really doing much. Okay. But it's going down. I'm waiting now. I want to see, is there anyone that's going to come in now and try and load up on Bitcoin? Because right now, that 700 bids has just triggered the market to say, well, hold on a second. Someone down there that's loading up 700 orders. Okay, cool. Let's see if there's any more of those guys. That's where we see the drop. Okay. Try and grab some more bids. Bookmap's taking a shoe bag to the downside. That's fine. It's going into the VWAP. Am I correct? Yes. It's going towards the VWAP. I think it's going towards the VWAP. Just wait a second. Okay. Anything on the offers? Is anyone up there on the offers? No. Okay, then. So we don't have any big orders coming in just yet. So now we're like, okay, we can wait. We can wait and assume that this could be an area of bids. What would I be wanting to see happening here? I'd want to be seeing effectively a reversal. Remember, if you're scalping, this is the sort of thing that I look at, all right? Here we go. Not really doing much now. The bids aren't really there. Here we go. It's just now it's gone in for bids. It looks like it wants to find more bids. But we've got Powell speaking in the next 15 minutes, guys. It's going to get busy. Here we go. Is it going to go down towards the VWAP? Most likely. No big orders. So then now you can see that you're just trailing with just guys with just small change. Okay, hold on. No, it's going. Now we are back in value, like we said earlier on up here. It's an area consistent with reversals, okay? So they've now brought price back down again. Here we go. We're not really seeing that many orders. No. All right, so when you're not witnessing the big order coming in, okay, you've got to effectively wait because now it's not really doing too much here, okay? But we're looking at the development. Remember, in trading, everything is fractal, all right? So this is how they develop the move. And you always say to yourself, how does it reverse from this point right here in the chart? How did it reverse from that low? It's by focusing on this sort of behavior. It might be a little bit crazy, but here we go. Look at the VWAP right there. VWAP at the 65,856. Okay, what we got here? Anyone coming in? So the biggest order right now is 46 on the bids. All right, not really too big. Starting to find its feet. It's now in value. So the market now has gone into the value, which is why we're seeing it getting a little bit busy right now. Okay? It's now moving back up again. 55 on the orders. That's okay. Anyone coming in to plant on the bids? You only focus on the bids when prices are going down. You focus on the offers when prices are really aggressively moving up. Okay? 47 right there. You see how the bid splits when there's a big order that comes in. Then you pay attention to that and say, okay, cool. All right, it's been pulled. Not interested. Fine. Next area. Any interest? Did I just see 71 on the offers there? Okay, cool. So 78 up there. Okay, no good for me. What I'm doing here is I'm waiting to see at the point, which point will the bids come in to protect their position from before. All right? That's what I'm looking for. And we're going to see that in the presence of a big order coming into play. If that player doesn't come in, then we would assume that that order itself was part of a bigger picture, and he's closed off all of his positions, and he's done for the day. Here we go. What's this? Not really doing anything. Now, it might actually go to that VWAP, ladies and gentlemen. It could actually roll into that. And look at what you're doing here. We're working a very small candle, a very small range. How do you trade this? This is not to trade. This is to understand how the development is, because you're going to be looking at this saying, okay, I'm waiting to see if someone's going to come in and protect this area. All right? I want to know, because then if you establish that protection of a specific range, then you'll have more confidence in saying, you know what, I'm actually looking to see if I can take advantage of a trade in this instance. But we do have Powell speaking, which is a very volatile time to be trading. But you will do this on a day-to-day basis when there is no news. If you do use exo charts, if you do use the book map, or if you're just using candlesticks, you'll be paying attention to the candlestick going up and down, up and down, up and down. Do you really get that much information? The only information you get from candlesticks is if they do become vectors, because it highlights that there has been an aggressive amount of bids that have been hit, okay? So that's a little sign right there saying to you, yep, guess what? Market makers just hit bids, or someone's been going long, okay? They've been bidding price to the downside, liquidating the short sellers. Liquidating the longs, okay? That's what you're doing with this stuff. New to trading and managed to get in at 59K. It's up 194%. Can I add to that, or what do you think? I'm only learning. It's a $10 trade. Doesn't matter, Ahmed, man. As long as you get into the practice of it. What do I think you should do? I think you should wait and see what happens with the news, my friend. Be careful. Protect the trade. Reward yourself. You took a trade. You entered into the game of madness, and you managed to make some money from it. You make $1 from it, man. Nothing stops you to make 2, 3, 4. Okay? MMG Tino, you switch time frame most streams. Please, how do we do it? What do you mean, switch time frame? I just switch time frames. I don't know if you're meaning about something else. All right, red vector candle. So, earlier on, that's 600. What are you doing? That 600, 700 order on Bitcoin. There it is right there. That triggered the bids. So you could have been seeing that and saying to yourself, I could have run a short. Coulda, woulda, coulda. All right? But that's an example of it. All right? This is this is what you want to be doing, man. This is for the day traders. For the holders, okay, it's a different story, all right? Holders, we're going to wait and see what happens with the news because that's going to lead us to really identify what Bitcoin can get up to, okay? They could be recovering this red vector candle later on the news, so just got to be very, very careful with it. Okay, 8 minutes until Powell actually testifies. We're not going to watch the live, okay? But we're going to effectively watch price because price is going to react aggressively to it, okay? All right, then. So we're not really doing anything here. 59 orders. So volume is lightening up. It's now coming away from that, okay? So we could actually start seeing value coming into play. 5,000 on the order book right there. That's okay. I want to see them hold this point and go up even higher. No one's really offering out. They're pulling the offers as well. They're pulling. Okay, that's good. There you go. Back into that vector candle recovery. Happy days. Not seeing the bids just yet. Because what you want to see as well is if they are actually seeing the offers coming in, then someone might plant a bid and say, you know what, if people are selling, I'm going to open a trade and just take advantage of that to see if I can get filled. That's the logic, okay? Here we go. Nice recovery right there. Didn't make it to the VWAP, but they've made the recovery off the red vector candle. And I'm telling you, when you trade like this on Forex, oh my days, because Forex doesn't have really any fees and very minimal spreads, you can exploit these. And this, ladies and gentlemen, on the 5-minute time frame, it's a dream on the 1 minute. Okay? Okay, then. All right, so going now back down again. But Powell is speaking shortly, so we've got to be mindful of that. Let's have a look at this. What else are we talking about? What about a week? What about week down at 60K? What do we mean by that? Yes, I know I said it wrong. It shoulda, it woulda, it coulda, woulda, shoulda, or shoulda, woulda, coulda. Okay. So, you know, shouldn't we feel yesterday's wick? We should. Do we have to? No. If price starts making its way towards it, then we can be more inclined to say yes. We're probably going to fill it. But if it's moving away from it, we'll obviously start to see how it can actually get towards it. News announcements could actually bring that. Now we're going back into value, okay? Value area high. So this is where we can assume, okay, if Bitcoin could actually come back up into here, then we can start triggering interest from investors across the board. No bids. No one's come in. So it's all starting to dry up right now. This is why you're seeing this wild up and down with Bitcoin. And this is all preparation for Powell, ladies and gentlemen. It's all preparation for Powell. Here we go. Just had a nice little surge right there. Full recovery of the vector, maybe. Offers are coming into play. That's good news for us. Yep. Nice little push there. That's good. So the book is jumping a few handles. That's good. So what we're seeing here is the actual auction between offers and bids is aggressive. And when you see these aggressive pushes up, it means that the bids are forcing the offers higher, which is encouraging aggressive buyers to come in, okay? And they make them pay the price, and they bring it back down again. But this is Bitcoin. The S&P is sort of the same as well, but not as aggressive, in my opinion. NASDAQ is an absolute madhouse, if you want to see that sort of stuff. Okay, then where we at? 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, until Powell has the conversation. This is where it gets very interesting. This is very, and we also have, excuse me, we also have the job openings. I'm just waiting for this order to come in. I want to see a big order. Someone's going to come in again. 88 on the offers up there. That's the biggest order, but I'm not too concerned about that just yet. 55, 47. Okay, nothing's really happening. Okay, all right. Offers right there tells me it's going higher from that point to get those orders filled. Imbalance, minus 17%. That's fine. It's going into that direction. ETH is almost up 11%. That is crazy. ETH up 11%. ETH. What the hell, man? Up 11%, man. Where are we at? All right, so S&P is currently at the point of control. Stuck in that. This is Bitcoin, this market thing here is Bitcoin's pressure on the order book. Goes to green, it's marking up. Goes to red, it's marking down. Come on, we want to see those offers. Yeah, a little push there. Quick bids. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the tick size. Watch what happens. We'll go up a little bit higher just to see if we can get bigger orders. 52, 53. Just so we can actually make sense of it. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, then. So we seem to have this controlled zone on the bids. Offers, 93. That's still staying up there. Okay. We have bids. We have bids trying to show support in this range. That's good news for us. Okay. So they're bidding out right now. 57, 47, 95. Okay, so 94. Look at that. Bid 95. Bid 89. Okay, so I thought I saw the same one up there again. Interesting. 64. So we got a big bid there. That might want to hold out price. It's holding out. You're going to see this, guys. Once Powell speaks, once the JOLTS job openings report comes out, you're going to see some crazy movement very, very shortly. Okay? No worries, guys. So do you think it's going to rally from here or going to go down lower than rally? The news itself is going to be posing a bit of a problem for us. If this was just a normal day, okay, and we didn't have news, I would be more inclined to believe Bitcoin was going to go higher. They'll just be consolidating price, okay? But because Powell's going to be speaking, we want to wait and see if that's going to be the case because the S&P and NASDAQ have been marking up. Bitcoin has sort of been marking up, but it hasn't. And it's stuck in this range. The all-time high is the only next place for it to go. But like I said, if Powell does suggest a hawkish stance, then that would set up Bitcoin to go for the all-time high because people will be like, forget fiat, because that's what's been fueling cryptocurrency or Bitcoin and gold. Because people are just like, what's going on with the Fed, man? Are we going to get these interest rate cuts or not? Okay? So we're going to wait and see right now. VWAP, it wants that VWAP, man. It really does. 96 on the bids. Here we go. Where is the point of control? 4.7 on the VWAP. Point of control, 10K. Because I changed the tick size, okay? So now what we're looking for is no one to transact higher than 10K. 8K, right there. 107, okay, we got a big bid. 102 right there on the bid side. 65.93, just below 66. Want to know if they're going to keep that in there. Look at that, 230. Look at that. Offers are big right now. Offers are coming in. They want to get filled. We should see a little bit of a reversal from here. 215 right there. They pulled it. Interesting. They pulled that order. Now it's marking lower. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to happen. All right. JOLTS job openings report coming out. And then Powell's going to be speaking. He won't be speaking straight away. All right. But we're going to assume the idea of a hawkish stance, which the markets won't like and investors will want to turn to cryptocurrency. Okay, that's what's been fueling this move. Here we go. VWAP, very close. Bids, 32%. That is very strong. 110 on the bid side right there. That's very good. It's moving very, very fast. Okay, IXO charts can't keep up with it. Here we go. I'm just looking for a fat order to come in and protect. 8K right there. It could transact and the point of control could change if they keep transacting at 65,993. Just below the 66. Here we go. There's your daily open nearly. Could be some V-shaped reversals. Got to be very mindful here. It's consistent with the V-shapes at the VWAP. Get ready for it. News should be out in a second. S&P's pulling back. It's going to be very fast, I hope. I'm going to pull up a depth of market on the S&P just to show you how crazy it's going to get. We'll put that over here. Just watch how crazy it gets. How it's really difficult to trade these sort of... It's not difficult, but you just got to make sure you're catching the right spot. Just watch the volume profile here. We're currently at the point of control with the S&P and the NASDAQ. Look at how fast it starts to move. Here we go. Look at that. Okay. The opening range is huge. Oh, no, it's not. Here we go. Look at that. Absolutely crazy. Someone just planted 116 on the bids right there. 97. So we've got people trying to show support here. News is out. News is out. Come on. All right, Powell's going to be speaking. Back into the point of control. Come on, Bitcoin. Really need to see this reversal if it can work. Seem to be stalling here. 8.3 on the value. S&P's climbing up. Anyone on Jolt's job openings? Can anyone reveal the figure? Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, we know he gets pulled all the time, bro. Okay. Look at them stalling at this VWAP. 8.4K. Nothing's happening yet. The data come out. Higher. Okay, positive. Okay, that's fine. Not too bothered about that even. See, that's what you know. They're waiting for Powell. But Powell should be speaking right now. Here we go, guys. This is where the magic begins. Is this going to be a reverse or is it just going to be a flush through to the downside? S&P needs to just really do it. I've seen an even distribution on the S&P and bids and the asks. Not really seeing anyone committed yet. Got very big imbalances here in the book. They want to go back into those, I think. Yeah, it's the bidder's game. Come on. He's going to start moving. Here we go. No one stepped in just yet. No big order. Remember what we said about the bids? Come on, pal. Say your stuff, man. Is he speaking? 93 again on the bid. Come on, snap reversal. Turn that into a new point of control, man. Come on. Turn into a new point of control. 66,000 or 65,993. I want to see that as a point of control, then that would be good news. Offers are starting to come in at that point there. They've just been pulled. No good for me. I want to see them stay in the chart so that we can assume they're going to go higher. 31% on the offers. Come on, Bitcoin, man. Say something, pal. Pal, I've got plow. Yeah, okay. Nothing's been said yet. Okay, happy days. You see us clearing 70K today or tomorrow. Happy days. Let's see if they're going to do something now. They could clear it in a split second. We just need to hear one thing. That 116 wants to sit on that order book right there. That VWAP is holding out on Bitcoin, man. It's holding out here. Offers are still coming in big. It's forcing prices lower. Feel that 116 and disappear. Of course it will. Here we go. It's breaking the 200 EMA in the 5-minute time frame. S&P's marking lower. They're going to fill those imbalances down below. Just get the orders. Look, there's too many imbalances down there. The book is not full kind of thing. Bitcoin's gunning. Oh, it's gunning. He's talking. He must be talking. We at the Federal Reserve have the promise of making sure that we hit that 2% inflation target whilst making sure that we keep printing dollars and dollars and dollars with our crazy debt increasing $1 trillion every 100 days. Don't worry. Your interest rates are jokes, man. There's not even a point in having these meetings. 500 on the bids. Look at that, man. Sweeping up the bids, eating them alive. Okay. All right. So S&P's coming down towards that imbalance. Happy days. Off she goes. Ciao, ciao. No one. They're bidding out. This is pending for reversals. Oh, God. What an absolute story. What an absolute story we've got going off here. Are they really going to do it? Are they really going to do it? They really are, aren't they? They really are. Come on. Do it. Sweep lower. Opening range. Bitcoin's breaking the VWAP, man. It's going for it. 800 EMA on the 5-minute. Don't worry, it's not too bad. Let's be honest now. It's not that much of a bad move to the downside. I'm being frank with you all. It's not terrible. Yeah, it's back inside of the wick. Towards the wick. Not really too concerned now. That must mean he's not really saying anything that's sparking a bit of interest in the markets or grant to be worried. Just need to see it roll over. See big pressure there. Big 400 there, 392. Keeps pulling off, look, 400 right there. It's not doing any good for them. Here we go. This is where the VWAP can change. Any comments from it? Meeting is starting. Is it still not even done? Tino looks like John Travolta from Pulp Fiction. Oh, wow. Still introductions and... Okay. Powell said he bought... I'm looking at all sorts of orders right now going across. It's actually a wild thing here. Yeah, Bitcoin's following it, man. S&P's rolling down. It's not looking good. He's not talking yet. That's wild. Could be setting up S&Ps. Could do a nice little reversal, man. Very nice reversal. Some chair dude is talking. Okay, so he's going to be asking the question. Remember, he's testifying, so he's going to be asked questions. Okay? This is where it gets interesting. Royale with cheese. Yeah, baby. Pulp Fiction, man. Here we go. My computer's like, oh my God, can't take this. It's just going for it. That point of, look at that, man. Can you believe it? It's whipped the VWAP. They're bidding out. Just keeps on going. Oh, God. Please, pal. Do you know what? This is so frustrating, man. How Bitcoin does this. And this will solidify the guys who are like, told you to short it, told you to short it. I mean, this is the 5-minute time frame, so nothing really to be too concerned about, okay? Powell policy rate lightly at peak, okay? Lightly at peak. Is this it? Are we good? Just come back to the VWAP. Want to see Bitcoin pull the flavor? You got one job, bro. One job. That's all you have to do. Just take that all-time high out. So desperate to pick it up. And this is what I mean. Like, it's proof that people want to pick it up as much of it as possible just below a key zone, because then that could suggest a nice big sweep to the upside. Powell's progress towards 2% inflation not assured. Oh, God. Bitcoin's last chance for all-time high can still get there later on in the year, though. Well, yeah, look how marginally close we are to it. I mean, I'm not going to say look how close we are to Bitcoin's all-time high, saying it at 31,000. That's a joke. We're literally marginally away from Bitcoin's all-time high. Only it assumes with the volatility of news, you're only going to assume that could be the case. You just don't know. Down is not as good as up, okay? Breaking risks of cutting too soon and too late. Oh, my God. Oh, the State of Union speech with Biden. That could be very interesting. That's true. 36% increase in eggs. Okay, then. What's going on here? We're seeing some interesting news announcements coming in. 6:55 was the last chance this morning, was the third or the fourth time we've been here. This is true. But look, stopping volume candle, that's good news for us. 10K on the actual order flow of the S&P. Like, they'll spend a bit of time in this area. Here we go. All right, then. 171 on the bids. Look, we got a big bid right here. Okay. Here we go. He must be saying something or not. The problem is, right, if these guys have just bidded Bitcoin with the stopping volume principle, okay, they could be offering out, which means it could actually come back down again. So just got to be very careful here. We need to see the offers coming in thrive. Look, not really there. Look at the top there. It's only minus 12. It's not got that strength from the offers. I need to see that going to like minus 25, minus 26, not plus 30 or plus 40, because that means the bids are coming in, which means price goes down. It needs to be minus 30s to say, yep, we're going up. Oh, God, is he still not talking? Here we go. Here we go. This is depressing me, man. Once he finishes talking, then that just makes life a lot easier. Lots of people just got caught out in shorts. Short covering's coming into play right now, which is leading the markup here, but it's still minus 48 on the bids, man. Okay. You're probably going to get this. S&P now starting to slowly come up. We're coming in from relatively interesting delta points. Okay, then, ladies and gentlemen, right, listen. This is what has to happen, okay? Once Powell's finished talking, remember, this is over a period of 2 days, okay? Euro's still up. Dixie's down. Oil. $80, man. They don't like it. They don't like it. Gold sweep lower, back up. Okay. Okay, Euro. Don't like the dollar anymore. Bitcoin should... You know what, bro? Euro goes up, gold goes up, oil's pumping, NASDAQ drops, whatever, okay? Or even if that goes up and Bitcoin stays here, I'm just going to be focusing on XRP. Because I know where I stand with this coin. I know exactly where I stand with it. I'm just so... Well, the futures market's a little bit better anyway, but Solana and Ethereum would be the ideal scenario. You know? They're just holding out. I mean, from the principle of blocks and vectors... Stopping volume candle 1, stopping volume candle 2. This area is sustained. If it breaks it, then we're done. Matic still holding out. Crypto hasn't really done much, but Powell isn't speaking just yet, is he? He's not talking. Can you break down the block trade strategy really quick? The block trade strategy is pretty simple, ladies and gentlemen. There are masterclass sessions on the Traders Reality website, which will go into it in deeper detail. But the block trade principle is you are taking vector candles on certain time frames, 5 minute, 15 minute, hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, whatever time frame you decide. It's ideally for the 5 minute trader, okay? Works great in Forex, works great on Ethereum, works great on Solana, okay? But Bitcoin, it can be a little bit tricky, but it does deliver on Bitcoin, all right? Now, what you're looking for is, see this block here? That's a block. The idea is that if they're going to sustain this area, that means they've been loading up longs in this zone, that the bids are going to show support at this point. The principle says that we should expect Bitcoin to move inside of this range to go higher, okay? What we would want to see is we want to see a vector candle breaking this point right here, which is the tip of this red vector. Why? Because if you notice, the red vector candle that appeared here was consistent with this candlestick appearing here. So they sold off. So the market's memory got triggered again, okay? And that meant that there was a big order right there to offload. So they offloaded again. The idea is that Bitcoin comes back up to that point. If it can surpass that and continue higher, you've got yourself the block principle. Now, conservative traders will actually say, okay, I'll wait for it to go up, break into it before I actually take the trade to prove the worth of the block, to go higher. Alternatively, if you are deciding that you want to run a trade from this area because you believe you've understood that this area here is consistent with them showing support, happy days, cool. You take your trade and you ride in towards what would appear to be the breakout of the block, okay? Because you've got breakout traders up here. And that is where you would be taking your profits. You'd be taking your profits either at the breakout here or just slightly a bit higher. to take out the previous breakout, okay? Because traders are going to see that and think, oh my God, it's breaking out. And then they'll open their positions. That's where you will then see this. Spike, retrace, test the block, continuation out. All right? You could take this right here. Blue vector block. Same principle. So you're effectively trading the idea of the market's memory at a specific price. Because why did it transact so aggressively there? Why is it held in this area? Okay? Interesting. Okay, then. Powell halving. Okay, then. Like, look, I think it's gonna go when I finish the live. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to update the platinum guys. Remember, 20% off. It's use the bull run code pinned to the top of the chat for the platinum membership. It's 20% off the first month. Okay. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, please trade safely. And I will check in with you all later on. Like the stream, subscribe on the way out, and hit the ding-a-ling for tonight's live. Take care of yourselves, gang. Mad love. Peace.